The White House is warning Iran of serious risks if it launches any major attacks on Israel. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg joining me now. General, do you still think we should go on offense against Iran and hit them?
Hi, Stuart. Thanks for having me. Well, the first thing we ought to do is actually diplomatically go on offense. And having an unnamed advisor in the Wall Street Journal say, don't do this, means nothing to our adversaries. It doesn't send a message at all. You know, when you look at preventing a war, you have to have deterrence. And deterrence is based on credibility. And the two underpinnings of credibility are capability, which we do have in the Middle East with the Carrier Battle Group, the TR, and also the WASP Amphibious Ready Group, but it's also political will. And we have shown no political will to actually get involved with this in a very hard way. The Israelis have, and they have shown that they're without fear to go deep into Iran, go against the Houthis, go against the Hezbollah, go against Hamas. You know, Stuart, it's been 9 days since that attack into Iran, which killed Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas. And even the president, the new president of Iran, Pezeshkian, has said to the supreme leader, don't do this. So you don't know where they're going to go. And I think they're a little bit concerned where the Israelis going to go. And I think our threats ring hollow. What they're afraid of, the Iranians, are afraid what kind of response the Israelis will have. And I think that's good. You have to have a strong deterrence. They have shown that. We're kind of standing back and making sure something bad doesn't happen. Look, here's the tell and where I come from. We recently had Americans killed in the 9 October event in Israel. There are still 5 American hostages. We haven't done anything. And just recently we had Americans wounded when a pro-Iranian militia attacked our Al-Assad air base and wounded 3 Americans. Not only we did not do anything, we didn't say anything. And that's a real deterrent. So when I read things like this in the Wall Street Journal, I just kind of say, yep, okay, seen this play before, doesn't make any sense.
Okay, change the theater. Fighting inside Russia continues for a 3rd day. Ukrainian troops stormed into Kursk. I believe that's part of Russia, and Ukrainian troops are right there now. Is this a turning point in Ukraine?
Yeah, you know, this is really interesting to watch, Stuart, because what the Ukrainians did is they achieved operational surprise. The Kursk province is a little bit to the west of where the major fighting is occurring, and there's really no depth of Russian forces there. What that has done is that has put the Russians on their back foot. They're going to have to shift forces and move forces. The big question is, what are they doing? If it was a limited raid, you know, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, that's different. They have gone deep. So are they going in there to hold on to territory? It's sort of a quid pro quo. You've got Ukrainian territory, we're not going to hold Russian territory. It's a really gutty move. And we're going to have to see how the Russians respond to it. But it's really clear to me the Ukrainians have done something they haven't done in the last few months. They actually attacked into a weak spot into Russia that was really unprotected, and have taken a lot of guts to do it.
And I'm told they used American and German equipment to get inside Russia. That's accurate? So they needed our support, our weapons, to get into Russia and surprise them, right?
Well, yeah, they've used the M1A 2 tanks we've given them. They've taken the Bradley fighting vehicles. They've taken the Leopard tanks that the Germans have given, and they push forward because that's really good equipment. But it also shows a will to do something that the Russians didn't expect. It put them on their back foot. So what are the Russians going to do now? That's the next question. How will the Russians react to this incursion? I'll tell you, Stuart, this is not a minor incursion. When you go 15, 20, 25 miles into somebody else's territory, this is not what we call, quote, a raid. This is a serious attack. And so let's see what the Russians do. But I think it's a very good operational move by the Ukrainians. It's going to force the Russians to do something. It caught them totally by surprise. They're going to have to shift forces. They're going to have to fight this incursion because they may be staying there for a while, or more importantly, they may be going even deeper into Russia. That would be a total strategic shock.
We will follow that one. Keith Kellogg, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us this morning, sir. Appreciate it. See you soon.